Protesters in Las Vegas decided to vandalize some of the billboards in the city by writing anti-Wall Street messages. Now, authorities don't know who did this, but I'm 100% in favor of it.
No.
Yes.
No.
I am. Let's watch.
I'm totally against it.
Here at Highland and Desert Inn, where the second sign was reported, they just took the mannequin down a few minutes ago, but the sign still remains here. Hope you're happy, Wall Street. The most visible of the two, though, was near the I-15 and Bonanza. And as you can imagine, 911 was getting flooded with calls from people who saw the mannequin hanging over the freeway this morning on their way into work. NHP contacted the owner of that sign, Lamar Advertising, who promptly removed the prank. Business owners here along Highland, though, are not amused.
So, look, that's telling in terms of the anger out there towards Wall Street, but I think that's really bad.
I didn't understand that because we didn't get the mannequin part until the end, right? So they were like, and then the biggest one was over here where it said, I'm dying out here, dying for work. And then, and people calling 911, I'd be like, who sees an objectionable billboard and calls 911?
Yeah, just bring it down.
Just tone it down. Just look away. But so they're making it seem like suicide. Yeah, I think I'm with Jack. You think it's cool that they...
Look, I know that the mannequin is a bit much, and I know that it's a bad idea because it's going to cause accidents and people are going to get hurt, especially when they're grabbing their phone, calling 911. They're scared that someone had just killed themselves. But I like the message, and I think that it's a strong message, and I'm in favor of making your messages as strong as possible. This is something that's getting some...
No, this is too strong.
What about
this is way?
What about no noose, no hanging, just vandalizing the billboards with dying for work? And
well, look, I'm against anything that's illegal, but I'm not going to get all worked up over vandalism. So if they do it and they say an anti-Wall Street thing, I mean, that's their business, not my business. I'm not advocating for it, right? But the noose thing is way over the top. I mean, look, I think that they're referring to the worker, dying out there, dying for work, and then the worker is being hung. But even that is way too strong. But I think a lot of people can misinterpret it as let's hang the bankers, and that is totally unacceptable. Look, there's no more anti-banker show than us. I mean, we just did a segment about how they're getting away with this giant amount of fraud, et cetera, et cetera. But we can't have people going in this direction. This is unacceptable.
I don't think anyone misinterprets that.
You don't think so?
If it says dying for work.
No, I think it was. I hope you're happy, Wall Street. You killed me. That's what I think. I think Anna's right. I think it's clear.
Even that is way too much. But look, like we say for the conservative guys, not everybody that's watching your message is perfectly stable, and perfectly sane and logical, etc. So if somebody's looking at that message, are you sure they all got it? And even then, I don't like it. But I think some people will look at that and go, "Oh yeah, goddamn bankers," and and get the totally wrong message.
Cenk, you make a good point, but and I see your perspective on this, but especially in Las Vegas, where think about the housing market there, think about the subprime mortgages there. I mean, Las Vegas was hit the hardest when it comes to what the bankers did. So I understand the anger and I understand the frustration and outrage. So I see the downfalls of it. I do think that the dummy or the mannequin was a bit too much, but overall, I'm supportive of the message that it's sending, that everyday Americans, the middle class and the working class, are really suffering. And look, we just did a story about how Goldman Sachs is not going to face any real consequences.
I know. No. I'm going to reemphasize. It's not a bit too much. I think it's way too much. Because look, what happens is if you egg people on in the wrong ways, there's the right ways to say, hey, look, we got to seek justice through the law, through the political process, because we can't have them do this giant fraud and get away with it. It's not right. And look at all those people who suffered in Las Vegas, Nevada, and all across the country. You're 100% right about that. But if you do the message in the wrong way, you're going to get crazy people on our side that are going to go do incredibly stupid things. And what happens when crazy people do stupid things? They hit the wrong people anyway. They shouldn't hit the right people, not under any circumstance, right? Then they're going to hit the wrong people. Like when there was the violence in Greece against the banks, and what they do? They hit a poor teller, and I forget if he got killed or if he was hospitalized, but they shot a teller. That's so dumb. So don't go in the violent direction of even insinuating violence, even 1%.
Okay, fine. Maybe it provokes violence for some people and it's a bad idea. But I will say this, the law has not been on our side, okay? I get it. You don't want to get in trouble. People don't want to get in trouble. We want to protest in a legal way. We want to make sure we don't get anyone in trouble with the law. But the law is not on our side. The Department of Justice is not on our side. side. The tax code is not written on our side. Everything is against us. So how do we make our message clear in a legal way? Everyone wants us to protest conveniently.
Well, that's a great point, Anna. And to that point, I would say that's the entire point of Henry David Thoreau, Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., etc. It's called civil disobedience. So if you are willing to get the dogs sicked on you, and they did it during the civil rights movement, and now the equivalent is pepper spray, etc. on the Occupy protesters, you're willing to go through that. You're willing to get arrested. You're willing to take that punch. See, that's courage. Courage isn't throwing a punch. Courage is taking a punch. And so that's what the civil rights leaders did. That's what we should be willing to do. So if you advocate for civil disobedience in a way that is productive, I'm 1,000,000% with you. But this kind of unproductive stuff doesn't help anybody. It just hurts.